Hey, I am in Scrap Mechanics today, and I am going to show you how to build a basic car. So first you, of course, just need a base for the car and a seat to be put on there. Make sure it's one of the seats, make sure it's a seat with the actual steering on it, and not just a seat, or else you won't be able to steer. Alright, so after you have the base and the chair, make sure your car, or well, the slab, is just long enough for it to be a car. Next, you need to put in an engine, and you probably want to turn it up for the car to go faster or just be stronger. So you will need suspension for a good car. So I would suggest doing something like this on all of the corners so you can have your suspension set up higher. What you can do then is place blocks here and lift it up, and then place the suspension. I'm using the shorter suspension so the car isn't too tall. Make sure you adjust the suspension to be at least 3, or else it will most likely just shrink and collapse under the weight of your car. Even if your car is made out of wood, it's still probably going to collapse. So at the bottom of your suspension, put a block, and here you do need to put a bearing, a block, and then a bearing on the side of that block with a wheel attached there. With this bearing, you'll be able to actually steer. You need one bearing for steering and one for turning the wheel. So once you've done it for one wheel, do it for all the others. Once you have all of your wheels, you should have one bearing for steering and one for turning it on all 4 spots. And you could attach the turning farther up to make this whole section turn, but it's most likely safer to just turn right next to the wheel. So after that, you need to connect the seat to the engine and the seat to all of the bearings that you will use for turning. This will let you control them with A and D. After that, connect the engine to all the bearings you will be using for the wheels, and make sure all of the bearings are turning forwards. And you can press the right mouse button to change any that are going the wrong direction. For the steering bearings, just make sure they're all going in the same direction, and you might have to change the direction if they're going the wrong way. So here's the car. Forwards with okay. Well, that's not exactly what I expected to happen, but here's a lesson. Like, perfect segue. You may need to adjust your engine power to make your car work. So, steering is actually wrong. So if I flip that steering and that steering, that's right. So if all 4 wheels, if all 4 wheels turn like this, it will give you really good steering for left and right, so you can make sharp turns. But you may want to just give steering to the front wheels so you don't turn as sharply. And I can show that real fast by just disconnecting the seat from the back ones. Don't think I did that right. I did it right. So now only the front ones turn, and alright. If you have a bearing that isn't being controlled or isn't connected to something, it's just going to spin around. So in this case, you would either have to remove the bearings or fix them like this. And whenever you adjust something, you need to make sure it's right. And I would say for this car, you should probably turn the engine down 1 more so your ride is smoother. And that's why you shouldn't go up steep hills fast, because it worked. Always make sure that all of your suspensions and wheels are the same. So suspension 3, suspension 3, suspension 3, and suspension 3. I'm going to turn them all up to 4 and watch how my car goes slightly up each time I do it. That's the suspension supporting my car more. Higher suspension means it takes more force to make it squish down, which can be helpful if you have a really heavy vehicle and you don't want your suspension to just collapse under you. So that's how you make a basic car. There are obvious improvements that you could do, like making it longer, heavier, stronger engine, and being able to support the engine. And there are better ways to do suspension than just suspension pieces, but those are complicated. And there's also a difference between gas and electric engines, which are these. With a gas engine, you control the speed. No, with a gas engine, you control the power of the wheels. With an electric engine, you control the speed of the wheels. So, yeah, that's it.